Definitely have to welcome each and everyone to the Keep It Real podcast show. I am your host, DJ Drift, in the building. You know what I mean? As we host some good vibes, have some good discussions. And this is the first official podcast. But before we even get into things, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Looking forward to having some great content, some great discussions, and even in the future, we're probably going to have a guest and we're going to have the phone line. So once you're listening and you want to be interactive with me, you definitely can call the number. Given this is the first one, I think on the second show, I'll have the phone number and everything will be set up official, ready to go. As I'm here in my little studio, my little personal studio. Shouts out to Easy Lee. Shout out to my boy Easy Lee. Shouts out to DJ Raga. Shouts out to DJ DeFori. And definitely got a big up to all the listeners who rock out with me on Team Artillery Radio each and every Monday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and that's Eastern Time. And I'm also on the radio every Fridays doing the Friday night turn up mix, and I'm on from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and that's Eastern Time because a lot of the shows is broadcasted on the East Coast, New York City to be exact. You know what I mean? But the first topic of discussion is going to be relationships, and a lot of people know how relationships could be now, man. It's like it could be one of them things. Definitely one of those headaches, or it can be something soothing. Either or, it depends. It all depends. You know what I mean? But two things I am mainly focused on making the discussion tonight. It's about accountability, and the second is communication. Because if you really look at it, a lot of us have major issues in relationships with communication and accountability. Let's get to the point. One affects the other. And I'll give you an example. Somebody that's not accountable or don't take accountability for their actions or the words that's spoken out of their mouth can be considered a liar. And usually it's not easy to communicate with a liar because a liar usually is someone that doesn't take accountability for their actions or things being done or things being said. So you kind of see where one leads into one. You're not accountable. You're a liar. I try to confront you about it. It's a problem. That means we can't actually sit down and have a healthy conversation or discussion about something. So both of those intertwine with each other. And if you look at relationships, for example, something simple can be blown out of proportion easily just because the lack of communicating. And I'm going to tell you, yes, you have to communicate, right? But you have to communicate with each other with understanding. Meaning, when someone is going to be speaking, you give them the chance to speak and express the way they feel about something. You give them that chance. So, in other words, you will be listening to that person, not questioning them every time they try to say something to you. You actually want to listen. And it's not only sitting down, listening because, oh, I'm just going to listen to you to get you out of the way, which some people do. When you listen to someone, you want to actually listen to them with understanding so you could understand their point of views, how they feel, and how they're being affected by whatever it is that's affecting them, given the reason they brought something to your attention and they want to have a dialogue, an open dialogue with you. You have to listen with understanding. You know what I mean? So if that can work, if you can make that work, that's the first phase. Listening is one thing, understanding is one thing. The next part is actually starts changing negative actions, attitudes, ways you go about doing things. That's the most important thing because you can hear the person, you could understand the person, but if you are not willing to make changes to yourself or to the situation or the relationship, then you're just pretty much talking the talk to the person because the person's going to hear you, but they're just not willing to accept the fact that they need to change. And that's pretty much what it is. Now, yes, you could be accountable now. You could be accountable. A lot of the times you could admit and say, okay, I'm wrong. But the problem is consistency. Anything negative that's going to be done constantly on a consistent base, you have a problem. You know what I mean? Because you can communicate, you could have communication, you could have accountability. But both of those things without the appropriate action taking towards bettering a situation, actions in there, I don't know what else to say. Mm, excuse. So you guys see where both of those things create the most problems in most relationship these days that we have to deal with. People not being accountable, people don't know how to communicate. And it's a big problem. It's a big problem because a lot of times you get the blame game, you get deflection. That's one of the biggest things you definitely get a lot of. You do it, so that's why I do it. Oh, you like to complain. So once I know you're bringing something to my attention, the first thing what I try to do is deflect it. Oops, I'm gonna bounce it back to you. You always got a problem with something. My thing is, if you can't work to find solutions, you're always gonna have issues. Yeah, you're always gonna have issues. My biggest thing that I always take away being in relationships is you're gonna have disagreements. People's gonna have arguments from time to time because of disagreements. But should these things be happening on a consistent base? No. If you're going to be having these things done on a consistent base, this is where you have a problem. And you heard I said that you're going to always have a little issues, little disagreements. The biggest thing is always finding common grounds to work towards a solution to make things better. Because in a relationship, to me, it's always how can we make this better? How can we work together as a team to get the best out of each other? Relationships right now, it's like a competition. Like people are competing to see who's better. You're not in a relationship to compete. It's not a race to see who meets the finish line first. A relationship is actually it's like a team. It's a team. Us, we work to build. You know what I mean? Because with certain type of mindset and certain type of approach in relationships, you will never get the best out of a relationship. And sometimes we need to take a back seat and listen, and we have to learn how to follow. Because a lot of times we do have people who are willing to lead, but we're not willing to listen and follow and go in that right direction. Like I always would tell people, relationships can be much easy and simple if people work towards the same goals, to make the relationship better. You can't push to the left too hard and he's pushing to the right too hard. Both people have to push to the center and work towards getting to the center together and build whatever they're trying to build and accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish. If these things don't get done, it's simple. A lot of things in relationships is simple. A lot of times, the question we should be asking our partner and sometimes ourselves, are you willing to put in the work to make it happen? Because you only will get out as much as you put in. A lot of times people want to get out 100% while they're only putting 10. And a lot of times when we can't find that balance in a relationship, things go wrong all the time. A lot of things in life is a balance. You have to find that balance. When you don't find that balance or don't want to work towards finding the balance, things usually don't work. And then we get the blame game. You. You don't blame each other. That's why I said communication. You sit down and you have open discussions. No one in a relationship is going to be perfect. We all gonna have times we're gonna make mistakes and bad choices. What we don't want to do is let negative things overshadow the positive. So what you actually want to be doing is way more positive things in your relationship than negative. And like I said, a lot of things is work. It's simple, but yet at the same time, it takes work. That's why I always say accountability and communication. Whenever you're wrong, accept, acknowledge, yes, I'm wrong, and I need to correct myself. That's the first step. Second, people need to learn how to communicate. Sit down, listen. People can agree to disagree. I hear your point of view. I understand where you're coming from, but I totally don't agree with you. It doesn't mean every single time people disagree, they have to get into an argument or say nasty things to each other. You know what I mean? Because that's just what relationships are. You know what I mean? That's pretty much what it is. Like I said, I want you guys to subscribe to the channel, share the content, like the content, and I will definitely try to read as much of the comments left in the comment section. There are always going to be follow-up videos to certain videos based on the comments and what's being said in the comments, and I'll definitely gonna respond back to you guys that's in the comment section. Now, if you have videos and you have anything for discussion and you want us to discuss it on the Keep It Real podcast show, you can definitely email TARadioNYC at gmail.com, or you can email realdjdrifter at gmail.com. And you can catch me on the radio. I'm live on teamartilleryradio.com each and every Fridays. I'm there from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and that's Eastern time. And I'm on the radios on Monday at 8 to 10, and that's Chill Out Mondays. Always a pleasure, man, having my little podcast talk show with you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Real DJ Drifter at YouTube. Real DJ Drifter at gmail.com, or you can email TARadioNYC at gmail.com. This is the Keep It Real talk show, podcast show. I am out of the building. I'll catch you guys back here next time. Have a blessed and a safe night, and we will continue to have great discussions. If you have any topics or video, like I said, and you want to send them to me, you can email TARadioNYC at gmail.com, and you can follow me on my Instagram at DJ Drifter. I am out of the building. Have a blessed and a safe.